Welcome viewers, you're watching CVR English with Sandeepa Smarani. Well, today we have the senior Congress leader and former Union Minister, Mrs. Renuka Chowdhury, with us in the studio. Hello and welcome, ma'am. We are happy to have you here today with us.
Hi Sandeepa, I'm happy to be here.
Ma'am, to begin with, you are in politics for over three decades now.
Yeah.
Like, have you seen or witnessed this kind of volatile elections before? Or and it is said that there's a lot of change in the political scenario from the time the KCR dissolved assembly and the elections were announced. So what do you think is the major reason behind this?
Well, every election is a challenge and there are always changing situations. That's part of the evolution that happens. And yes, there is a stark difference between from the time that the Chief Minister announced early elections and dissolved the assembly to now. So if you go to see that, you see what has actually happened is that there is a culmination of people's anger, which is very, very visible and tangible. And that has brought about the change that we are seeing. There's a snowballing of effect that's happening, and that's happening against the ruling government here.
Yes, ma'am. And while KCR has been targeting the Congress so far, and now his focus has shifted from Congress to criticizing the TDP leader Chandrababu Naidu. So, does this mean KCR's opponent is Chandrababu Naidu and not the Congress? So
that's a question you have to ask KCR because he's obviously terrified, and whatever he says is speaking. He's now feeling hemmed in because it was the Congress, we have been getting at him. But now he suddenly found that the other side also he's opened fire, and he'll realize he's opening fire on too many fronts and he's going to lose.
Well, that means the Congress is all ready to withstand the speed of the car.
Of course, it is the hand that will dislodge the car. You can't drive a car without the hand.
Well, the adage that there are no permanent friends and foes in politics seems to be suiting the alliance made between the Congress and the TDP today. Well, you early worked with TDP and later joined Congress.
Yes.
So now as Naidu forged an alliance with Congress, you got a chance to work with Naidu again. So are you comfortable about it?
What's not to be comfortable, quite frankly? I worked with TDP as a regional party. And I went to the Congress as a national party. And with the changing scenarios, we need to have take different steps and go forward. This is a decision that everyone at the higher levels have taken. And it is our business as committed soldiers to make sure that we go forward and we win the war. And that is the goal that we need to look at. I'm very much a Congress person.
Well, TRS leaders are claiming that the Mahakutami is Maya Kutami. Well, is the alliance made is minus or plus for the Congress? Like, how do you react to this?
Look, it's a new experiment. Our concerted goal is to ensure that we remove the KCR government here and the Modi government at the center. And this is a new beginning. So we'll have to see how this goes and which direction it goes. And we are optimistic that this will work out. Yes, there has been heartburn. There are differences. They're bound to be because it's an overnight change that we are looking at. But believe me, when you look at the common goal that we are trying to achieve, everyone is falling into line because we realize our very presence is threatened by this government here and the ruling government in the center.
Ma'am, if Telangana Mahakutami works well at the state, will it fructify at the national level as well?
Well, there's a good chance that it could, and it would, probably would. If this is giving us the result, I don't see why it shouldn't be looked at.
Well, the TRS leaders are claiming that though all the opposition parties have formed an alliance, the victory would be theirs. So how do you react to this?
Empty vessels make a lot of noise. So it's okay, it's wishful thinking when he wants to say so. He can say what he wants. We'll discuss this on December 11th.
Okay. So the TRS leaders said that if the late NTR's soul gets to learn that TDP joined with the Congress, an alliance has been made, his soul would cry out loud. So what's your, what do you have to say on this?
You think NTR's soul didn't cry out when he saw what TRS has done? And when Mr. KCR was there in the TDP and what the work he didn't do when he was there, and now that he's come here and made these false promises, don't worry. NTR's soul is quite strong. He was a tall man. He doesn't need KCR's sympathy.
Well, and also, ma'am, KCR says that the voter has to decide whether he or she will choose a sealed CM or a CM who has self-respect. So, how do you react to this?
This is quite amazing. How does he, KCR, become the patent on self-respect suddenly? He doesn't need to teach any one of us what if he had self-respect, he wouldn't tell lies the way he has, the untruths that he has been spreading. If he had self-respect, he won't go back on the word that he had made a promise to the Congress when the Telangana came about, the division came about. If he had self-respect, he couldn't have gone and touched Sonia Gandhi Garu's feet and then pretended that she had nothing to do with the division. So let's not discuss the subject of self-respect. I don't think he knows the spelling.
Well, KCR has warned that if Prajakutumi comes to power, like there is a whole that Andhra rulers would rule the Telangana state again. So how is that you didn't contest in the elections this time, or will we get to see you in the upcoming Lok Sabha elections at least?
Well, that depends on the people and the High Command. If they decide that I've got to contest the Lok Sabha, I will. That's a different story. There was a lot of pressure on me to contest Assembly now. But then when we were forging these alliances, the seat went in that. So it's okay. I don't have to be there everywhere all the time. And the point is that to come to your earlier question of what KCR has said and what he's talking about the state, he will realize that the Kutami is the foundation for the future.
Well, ma'am, as you said, and it is also alleged that the candidates in your party are aspiring to be CM are more than the candidates by themselves. So who is going to be the CM, and who has a stature to face KCR?
Hey, we are in a democracy. Every candidate of ours is considered, we prepare them to become the chief ministers. And if you look at it, if you look at Mamata Banerjee, you look at Sharad Pawarji, you look at P.A. Sangmaji, you'll see what I mean. We've laid the foundations. We take pride. It doesn't matter if they're not with us today. But the fact of the matter, for that matter, even Chandrababu Naidu, for that matter, he was part of the Congress. They got their grounding at this party. And it's fine. They went on to become chief ministers. They struck out on their own. It's fine. We are okay with that because we are not so fragile. And I want to remind KCR, the people of Telangana are not so fragile. We're tough cookies and we know how to take what comes.
Well, ma'am, it is debated that the Telangana results would have an impact on the country's political scenario. So what you have got to say?
Of course, any election will have. Everyone is going to discuss it. It's a very visible thing that's happening. And Telangana will be discussed even at national level. And it's interesting, everyone's watching because there are unusual circumstances and unusual developments that are happening here. And it's interesting to watch. It's part of the game of democracy.
Ma'am, apart from Telangana or except Telangana, so what do you think will be the position of Congress in the other 4 states which are going to polls? Should we see these 4 states as the semi-finals, or like, will these elections have bearing on the Lok Sabha elections as well?
You know, people of India are so intelligent. I never fail to get amazed, and I have deep respect, and it's a very humbling thing to take part in every election, whether you are a candidate or a spectator or a participant in other ways as a worker. Every election is a defining moment, and I think it's amazing what happens and how things will evolve and what happens in the future. So what happens here is definitely going to reflect on the nation somewhere or the other. Good, bad or ugly, it goes with the turf.
Well, good, bad or ugly, ma'am. Like, will this be a litmus test for the leadership of Rahul Gandhi?
Oh, people have been saying this forever. And yet if you go to look at it, there is a new sense of development and discipline that has come in, and it's a new generation. And I don't think we should use these as yardsticks for someone's success or failure. Rahul Gandhi is the Congress president, and he will govern as he thinks is best and wisest for the workers. He's not a man who's ever been greedy about himself. He was offered many things which he turned down, as you all know. So this is not about Rahul Gandhi ji's yardstick of what his leadership means, not at all. But this is a collective, cohesive effort that we are making to restore the balance of democracy, which is a huge challenge, and that is what we are immersed in today, and that is what we work for.
Well, Congress chief has been electioneering in a full swing in Telangana, ma'am. So is he applying the same strategies to rally in the other states as well?
You will see the results, and I think you've got some feedback from the states that have finished polling. So I have every reason to be very, very optimistic. And it's not that he didn't go there as much as he is coming here, not at all. Because he's here, you're finding the visibility more here. But he's been there, here, there, everywhere.
Well, talking on the point of federal front, well, KCR says that he'll play an important role in forming a federal front at national level after these elections. So, without BJP and Congress, is there a possibility that KCR would join a Mahakutami?
Where is the math that KCR is talking about? Yes, there's an immense possibility that he may come and join the Mahakutami with his tail between his legs. He may well do that, but that's okay. We'll take it when we come to that. We'll cross that bridge then.
Well, ma'am, Prime Minister Narendra Modi has also criticized the Congress leader and along with other three parties in regard to the grand alliance made in the state. Well, Prime Minister says that there is no much difference between the Congress and the KCR in deceiving the people. So what you got to say about this?
So says the master deceiver. Wow. Well, actually, that should be a compliment coming from him, because I mean, he actually thinks he can recognize whatever. All that Mr. Modi, Prime Minister ji, is saying today is in direct proportion of the distress that he is feeling. The heat has reached him and he knows which way it's going.
Well, ma'am, continuing with the same, Prime Minister has also warned the people to be careful and not to believe in the promises being made by the Congress and other parties.
Sure, we believed in his promises and see where it got us, where our rupee has no value, our neighbors are all hostile. Years of bilaterals and good relationships with other countries have come to nothing, no employment for anyone. The 15 lakhs never came into the balance, into the bank accounts that he promised. The gas cylinder price has gone up higher and higher and highest. And all the tears that he wiped for women are now pouring. And he hasn't realized that. He has no respect for women, we all know that, and he's now trying to exploit the situation, talking about his parents. Nobody has any disrespect. We don't make our aged mothers stand in a queue for a photo op. We don't do that, because as a Hindu, we believe our dharma is that we look after our parents. We actually say, Matru Devo Bhava. Even before God, we place our mothers and our fathers. We don't put them in queues to stand and get for their ration and think I'm being a good daughter or son. So never mind. We don't want lessons from them. We know what we are. Please go ahead and do what you have to do.
Well, ma'am, in this rough and tumble political scenario, that is the Grand Alliance versus TRS versus BJP. So do you see the Grand Alliance and the Congress especially make its way in Telangana state?
Of course. Undoubtedly. No doubt about it. Congress party in Telangana has been working hard. We have been resonating every complaint that the citizen has had. We have fought for them, whether it is for the farmers or whether it's for the students, whether it's about fees reimbursement, whether it is the unpaid bills of people who have taken loans and built their homes, and the bills which the government should have given morally and they haven't. We will continue our battle to serve the people. This is only in service to the nation.
Well, ma'am, Congress has claimed that the state wealth has become empty. So, how are you going to fulfill the promises made during the elections?
Good question. You see, we don't wait to loot khazanas, right? If the treasury is empty, which it has been robbed left, right, and this is what the people of India should realize. If you give the governments who have no experience how to run a country, who have no talent amongst them to be able to govern, who have no respect for institutions across the nation, then this is what happens. Your rupee dissolves into less than a newspaper, and your trade goes, and your business doesn't come. You have unemployment, you have closure of small and tiny units because of demonetizing, you have what you claimed was a cashless society you were working towards, and today you yourself claim that there is more cash in the system than it was earlier. It all goes to point to the bitter truth: they have no governance. They have no experience in governance, and they have utterly failed this nation on so many fronts. They have brought about poverty in levels which we didn't experience earlier, and they have created a fierce psychosis across the nation. There is such a bitter caste divide which we were never seen before. Suddenly the cow is more important than a human life in our country, and we have become the standing joke of a global community that looks and worries, who actually give advisories against coming to India, and who live in terror that something will happen here and the government will not respond, and you don't hear a word from the Prime Minister, his Man Ki Baat or whatever baat, where he has ever promised any kind of security for women in this country. So enough. I can go on about this for till the cows come home. The fact of the matter is, never give your valuable vote to someone who does not have experience in governance. This is the result.
Well, demonetization, as you spoke about, has been a bitter fail. So Congress, if it comes to power, does it have some betterment plans for the state and the nation?
I can't say off the board just now what we'll do, but I know for a fact whatever we'll do will be in the interest of the nation, and that we have the experience. We have people who have talent. We have the past will stand up for what we have done for this country, and we will continue to do it irrespective of what happens with this government.
Ma'am, now that KCR also proposed a federal friend, and also Rahul Gandhi is in race to become the Prime Minister, so what is your strategy at the national level to be at the center?
The same experiment will continue on a macro level, where we will work for the people. The people will repose faith in us. We will use democratic means. We will guard our EVMs like never before. We will ensure that the leakages are sealed, and we will deliver to the nation. We will deliver, because when we say we the people, we are part of that.
Well, ma'am, at national level, the third front has stayed to be a failure. So when we'll get to see that this will be a successful plan?
You know, I don't contribute to that thought that this is a failure or that is a success. It doesn't work like that. Everything is an attempt, and we plan, we experiment, we lay the foundation, and you forge ahead. Sometimes things work, sometimes they may not work the way you want it to, but you can't wish it away. If you go to see right from the national front level to today, there has been a step forward. It hasn't been backward or sideward. There has always been a step forward. And according to the diktats of democracy that happens here, depending on what the situation is in this country, you will find that such things will come forth. These are things what we need to try, what we need to examine, and we can't give up trying. We have to do whatever it takes to ensure that democracy prevails in every word and letter and the spirit of what was defined by the great constitution framers of our nation.
Well, ma'am, the party like TDP came out and is supporting the NDA government. So do you think any other parties would join and support the Congress?
Well, the doors are open. We have always stretched our arm in friendship, our hand in friendship. And history will judge us that yes, we have delivered on so many fronts. I'm not saying that we didn't have our failures. We did have our failures. But then that is the beauty of it, that we examine, we introspect, we discuss, we practice democracy, and then we go forward to establish the fundamentals, the framework for an energetic India, a foundation for the youth for tomorrow, and a future where India will stand, we already stand as first amongst equals.
Well, ma'am, is there a possibility for Nitish Kumar party to join Congress and the other alliances?
Look, I'll put it this way. Politics is the art of turning a probability into a possibility. And you have to try that. You have to see whatever you can do to ensure that we achieve our common goal.
Ma'am, as we are talking about the alliance, now that Congress is in alliance with other three parties, so are the members or the candidates who are in the elections, contesting in the elections right now, are they comfortable with the other members? Are they accepting the other members?
They may not be. The worker level would have a little disturbance. Naturally, that's part of the process, and there is a little discomfort. I won't deny that, but that doesn't mean that it's not possible. When our workers see that we've got great leaders who gave up so much to ensure that the workers and the party will continue, then it's not a big sacrifice what we make as Congress workers, where we are able to overcome our personal resentments and prejudices and work for the common good of the society. And we want the Telangana that we imagined, what we wanted, what we visualized. Not KCR's Telangana. What happened was KCR's Telangana. Here we are going to establish, I'm sorry, we are going to establish the Telangana that is visualized by the people of the state, by people who dreamt that there will be so much good, and there is good. That is what is going to happen, undoubtedly.
Well, ma'am, what are the mistakes or the wrongdoings that happened in the last elections, and what are the strategies you are coming up with? Because even after accepting the bifurcation between Andhra Pradesh and Telangana, still Congress didn't come to power. So how do you think you will play an important role in winning these elections this time?
Well, actually, we failed to in our propaganda. We failed in publicity, in telling everyone about what great things we did, because we did do them, and we believed that people knew that and understood that. We perhaps underestimated someone else's ability to tell and sell untruths to the public, and we couldn't go down to the level which some people are very comfortable in, and they were able to make use of that. We couldn't do that because we have some restrictions and some self-respect which prevents us from doing such things and at any cost. But we've learnt that you can keep your self-respect, and if you work hard, and the truth will prevail, and all those lies and mirages that this man has shown was only that. It was only a mirage. So today people have faith in Congress because of our past record, because of what we have delivered, because we have put our money where our mouth is, and we have reached every citizen in this country, and because we actually work for the betterment of this nation, even at our own cost, which is what we did in Telangana. Knowing that we will lose, we said we have made a commitment. This is what the people of Telangana want, and we gave it. And while we gave the Telangana, we ensured that people of Andhra don't get left out, and it is what we fought for, saying that, and it was given. It was an assurance given by the then Prime Minister Dr. Manmohan Singh ji in Parliament, where he said that there will be a special category status and Andhra must also flourish. Now, if some other government comes in, this is what happens. When you vote for a government who have no experience and who have no moral threshold, then this is what happens.
Well, ma'am, on that note, as we are saying in regard to the TRS, well, this time TRS and Congress particularly has come up with a manifesto where they have many things where they want to do for the welfare of the people. So, how strategically do you think will the Congress be stable in fulfilling all the promises made?
Look, we did the impossible and we delivered in the past. We were questioned like this many times. But the fact of the matter is, we took on those challenges and we delivered. Did anyone believe that we could give free power to the farmers? We gave. Undoubtedly. Did anyone believe that we could feed our people by charging them 1 rupee? We did it. Did anyone believe that we, at 4 annas interest rate, that we will give the Dwakra groups the money, micro lending that we did? We did it. So nothing is impossible. Like I said, politics is the art of turning a probability into a possibility.
Well, ma'am, Congress is accusing the TRS of dynasty politics. So, KTR is asking if is not Congress doing the same with Rahul being the president of Congress?
Look, Rahul was elected to the president of Congress, okay? But I don't remember Mrs. Gandhi calling him and on the eve of any election and crowning him as minister. I don't remember Mrs. Gandhi, Sonia Gandhi saying that she wants to become prime minister even though the whole country said so. I don't remember anyone getting posts just because they were related. No, Rahul Gandhi ji had to work for this. He worked for it, he earned it, and it is us who voted for him to become the Congress president. It is an ongoing process that happens in Congress continuously and periodically. So, where is the comparison? I don't remember every member of the family occupying some post and sitting in parliament and in assembly and as chief minister and as prime minister. No. When was the last prime minister of the Gandhi family? When was it? How many years ago? Let me remind the public that let us not become victims of this kind of propaganda which both the central government, Mr. Modi, Prime Minister, and Mr. KCR from Telangana are masters of. They are masters at false propaganda, and people bought into that the first time, and I don't think it's going to happen again.
Well, as you said, ma'am, Modi is a master of false propaganda.
Yeah.
Well, I would like to ask you, like, as Modi's initiatives turned out to be bitter, so what initiatives would Congress come up for the betterment of people?
You will see. We are not going to put our cards on the table just now, but believe me, whatever step we take is in the interest of the nation. We will ensure that we continue to get world-class institutes, fantastic development, international acclaim and recognition, and the job opportunities for our youth. And today, India is the youngest country in the world. We have the largest number of youth here. We export intelligence. We contribute to other economies. And these are children who have studied in our government schools here and other institutions. And we make everyone proud. India contributes everywhere.
Well, ma'am, on that note, one final question. What is your message to your party supporters and party workers?
Hey, we have a great legacy. The blood of those who sacrificed their lives and fought for the freedom of this nation runs in our veins. Our leaders have shown and established that it's not always for power or position. So let us give of ourselves. This is our freedom movement. Those of us who were not born during the freedom struggle, this is our struggle to deliver this country from this evil, from this kind of harassment that is happening, from this divisive forces who have taken the secular fabric of this nation and torn it. We have the strength, we have the courage, and we know the way forward. Let us unite and fight and bring this country up to where we deserve to be as first amongst equals.
Well, on that note, we come to the end, ma'am. Well, thank you for your information. And it was very interesting talking to you, and thank you for your time.
Thank you so much. I enjoyed being here.
Thank you, ma'am. Well, that is what the senior Congress leader, Mrs. Renuka Chowdhury, got to say in regard to the Grand Alliance and the upcoming elections in the Telangana state and how willful they are ready to work for the welfare of people. Well, thank you for joining us. Keep watching CVR English channel. This is Sandeepa Smarani. Have a great night.